cute.
So cute. Welcome back to PRC TV. I am very excited.
Me too.
This is Heather.
Hi, everyone.
So the other day we were talking, and Heather had this really cool idea because she said that it's ADHD Awareness Month in October. So I had no idea, but Heather has ADD, and she has a son that is it ADD or ADHD?
Brayden has ADDE, which is the emotional factor of it. There's a lot of different areas. So everybody always hears, to kind of piggyback off this, about ADHD. Well, not everybody's hyper. Not everybody has that bouncing off the walls type ADD.
Yeah.
And I've struggled with ADD since I was a little kid, but not to out my age. When I was younger, we just didn't deal with that. It was you were misbehaving and you just didn't know how to behave.
Yeah.
So sit still, be quiet, And mine wasn't the hyper part either. I wasn't very hyper. If something shiny happens or a car goes by that I think is cute here in a minute, you'll see me. I'll turn and I'll look. Learning how to stay on that path has definitely been a struggle, especially when you become an adult. When you get into the workforce, like there's no accommodation. You either do your job.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you
That's
either do your job or you get fired, you get let go.
So how have you learned to work
with
ADD?
As I started taking medicine for ADD as I got older. I didn't take it until well into my 30s. And by that time, it was just a super blessing that I was able to work with my best friend of since we were 11. And I was taking my very first ADD medicine ever, and she's like, "I hate you on that medicine. I can get everything done. I can do your to-do list, my to-do list, but I'm an awful human." Wonderful. Taking that time to say, okay, what is it about that medicine? So, but you start to learn as you go what works for you and what doesn't. So for me, definitely, I know this sounds insane. See, car,
time out, and
game off. Wayne's World, game on.
And action.
So writing a list, as cliche as it is, then it works. Helps me prioritize what needs to get done. I am definitely one of those persons. If there's too many things, then I just shut down and do nothing. Almost like a hoarder that just puts everything in one room and shuts the doors.
It's not there. It's fine. Let's find door number one. Nothing.
All the things I got at that flea market are not there anymore. So then I thought to myself, okay, the things that I hated to do, I put at the top of the list. You know how everybody says you're either a morning owl or a morning bird or a night owl. Yeah. Whatever. What's the morning person?
I like the morning owl idea.
Yeah, that doesn't work. I am a midday narwhal. Those things with that tooth. Learning that about me, it was very hard. And to find a job that would work with that, right? So I knew that if I did the things I did not want to do, reply to emails, all the things that were meticulous that I really had to focus between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10, then I would be alone enough to focus on that stuff.
Okay.
And then from 10 to 4, all my business calls, like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Because that's when you work
that
the
is
best.
when I work the best, between
so
10 and 4.
Yourself.
And then when I started with PRC Resources, Red Car, even more catchy. I started with PRC Resources. Sam, catch his channel on Friday with Stacy for fundamentals. We did a character, like what is your character test?
Yeah, temperament.
And your temperament, how you were built. Seeing what my strengths are and my weaknesses were, and knowing that when I behaved like shut down, didn't want to do anything at all, that was because I was working within my weakness. And I never knew that. I just knew that I was working because this is who Heather is. And let me just start 700 projects and not finish one.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest part was learning that, right? Let's go back to that. It's learning that, knowing it, and going, okay, is now that I have this written down and somebody else knows this about me,
Yeah.
how do you use this profile to help push you forward? And that is when I figured out the midday Norwalk, like 10 to 4.
You're good.
You were good 10 to 4. Know that in the morning, I'm a mom. I'm a single mom. So in the morning, I have a son. We'll get there that has ADDE, and his whole life is like this. In the morning, Brayden, put on your shoes. I'm doing it.
He doesn't do it.
Nothing. He just sits there. Brayden, do you have on your
Week 2.
shoes?
This is coming week 2.
We'll get there, week 2. But 10, in the morning I'm doing that. I'm trying to get them out the door, and then I'm trying to get myself out the door. So 10 and 4. Heather, focus everything between 10 and 4 and really map it out and try with everything that you have to stay within those parameters. And learning that sometimes medicine isn't for everybody. Sometimes it really is.
Aww.
It is for my son. It is not for me. It really takes away. And by now I've kind of learned to adapt. But it is definitely a thing. It is not something that us as adults need to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
It's a thing. And it's an okay thing. It's a mental thing. And like I tell my son, my thyroid doesn't work. It's broken. I take a medicine every single day to make it work. I said, there's one part of your brain that does not fire.
Aww.
So you take a medicine every day to make it work. I said, if I don't take my thyroid medicine, my thyroid doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm lazy, I'm slow,
Yeah.
I'm mad, I'm irritable.
Yeah.
And I said, and it's all because of that one little
It's a
piece
thing.
in my, thyroid that doesn't fire.
Yeah.
I said, you have one little thing. So for me, I have 2 things,
Aw.
2 areas in my brain that do not fire. So to figure out how to get through there, how to talk to your bosses about it, and even using something as great as a temperament test to figure out what jobs work well for who you are and what works well within what you can do. And I think as, we progress into different types of corporate environments, there are other corporate organizations that are getting into what those timeframes look like, giving people different shift opportunities. And those are the things as a person with ADD you need to look for, as an adult with ADD. Shifts, like what shifts work well for you, what jobs will work well within, your different things. Like if you go to your co-working spaces, there was a time that I was in a co-working space that the ping pong table was never not in use. You had to try to have an open mind and learn these things on how to work best within yourself and how to work best within your area and the parameters that work well for you.
That's beautiful. All right, so week 2, we're going to talk about her son and how
you get through the day and how you get through your work day.
Yeah.
And how to talk to your boss about it.
Week 2, coming at
Week 2. You don't know what you don't know because you don't know.
Bye.
I know that there is a tube of eyelash glue under my bed, and I refuse to move it.
Why?
Because I know it's there. So if I ever cannot find the tube that's in my vanity, I
where
know
it is.
you could go
Under
under the
my
bed.
bed.
But if you moved it,
Why
I don't
would it be
know.
anywhere else?
But my boyfriend tried to move it. I was like, don't.
Stop moving my eyelash stuff under the bed. That's where it's supposed to be in my house.
So